Thanks, everybody. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Justin.
Good to see you guys. Chris, it's your last year here at Arizona. How do you reflect on the last few years, and how do you look ahead to what's next?
I really say start off by always being grateful. Thanking the Lord that I had the opportunity to be able to spend my time in Tucson. It's been amazing. But also knowing like it's the last year, I just want to put it all out on the line and use everything I learned in the past and all the stuff I prepared myself to do to make this year a great one.
And how would you describe just the adversity that you've had to overcome, just coming here, settling into the offense, the multiple coaching changes, all that?
I'd say just my whole kind of story has been about adversity. I was recruited super late to come here, coming in the first place. So I'm already starting, playing catch up and, starting behind with the old staff. Working through that, the growing pains of all that, not really seeing the field. And then obviously Coach Brennan coming in and with Bobby and instilling confidence into me. That's a whole new, offense you got to learn. And then obviously Coach Dagey coming in last year, a new offense. But through all that, I kind of just stayed true to myself, I say, stayed in my craft, used the relationships, I started making with the guys coming in to really push me forward and, push me in that direction. And at the end of the day, when you have all those things working, it's not too hard to have tunnel vision and just work through it.
Chris, Coach Wade just said he wants you to take the room by the reins and be that leader. Do you think you've done that? And how do you think your leadership affects the rest of the room?
Yeah, I mean, last year, Coach Bobby did a great job, I'd say, to kind of try to start nudging me in that role to kind of be the leadership guy in the room. And then especially this year, pretty sure I'm like the oldest guy in the room right now. So, every day he pretty much talk to me, try to push the guys and all that. So I feel like, I'll try to step into that role. I have a lot of help with the guys, They don't try to put it all on me and make it hard. They make it pretty easy for me. But, I embrace that knowing, if that's what I have to do, I'm down to do it.
Giovanni, what prompted you to go by your full first name?
I've been called Gio my whole life. So, my mom was like, why don't you, when I was young, Gio was smooth because it was, a kid nickname, Gio, so I was okay with it. But when I felt like I'm getting older, Gio was just, I've been called it when I was young. So now that I'm grown, I'll probably, like to hear Giovanni. But, all my friends, people y'all can all still call me Gio. I have no problem hearing Gio. But it was for the announcers and, just when you look my name up, it's Giovanni for my mom and stuff because she likes Giovanni, obviously.
Okay. And what did your mom think about you making that change?
I told her I was going to do it, but I didn't tell her when I was going to do it. So I planned on doing it, mid-season last year. But I was like, it's not that big of a deal, so, not do it. So then she probably forgot about it. And then I sent the roster picture of it saying Giovanni and then Rockford, where I'm from. And she hearted it and was super excited. So I guess she was happy about that.
Is there any significance behind your first name?
Not that I know of. It's just an Italian Giovanni name. So.
Giovanni, when you catch a record-breaking touchdown from middle of the field, is there any significance for you, or is it just another one of those? I caught the ball, we scored. Good.
To be honest, we really talked about it the whole week. I was just joking with him the whole week of that practice. Bro, you're going to throw that touchdown to me. We're going to break the record. We're going to break the record. We're going to break the record. And then when he threw it and I caught it, I was like, all right, smooth. And then while we're running off the field, he's like, bro, you caught it. I broke the record with that one. So then it was okay, dang, we really did it. But for me, to be honest, it was just a normal kid. I low-key forgot that it was even the record until he told me.
Justin?
Well, a question for both of you guys. What have you seen as far as Trey Spivey's growth and how he's really become a leader?
I'm going first? Yeah, you. From a young guy looking up, Trey is definitely stepped into that leader role because it's the second year in the offense, so he's really understanding it now. He's getting a better grasp of it. So he's able to help me, Isaiah, Jet, RJ, the younger players, speak up and be that player that we want to be because he obviously did it over the past year. So at that point, he's being a better leader this year, I would say.
Yeah, I say to that, just second year in the system, I think he's really done a great job learning it more. And then with that, he's able to play with even more confidence. So once you put his skill matched up with now his knowledge of the playbook and that confidence to play, without having to second guess anything. You know, you really see another jump he's made. And like they said, in the meeting room and stuff, he's become more vocal, bringing the guys together more. You know, I think he's took a giant leap in that regard. So that's great to see.
Lindsay and then Jason.
Giovanni, this time last year you were in a much different position, kind of battling through injury. How's your mindset different heading into this season?
Same mindset, just straight growth. I know I'm not the best player I could be right now, and I know there's a big room for growth that I can have. So it's just keep my head down and keep going. You know, I got a lot to grow in, so just keep going.
Jason and then Justin.
For either of you, kind of touched on it before, but second year of the offense, how much smoother do you think this spring is going in terms of what you're doing offensively as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's clicking, especially with the guys who kind of second year in the system. You're more comfortable, so you're able to just fly around. Now you know what's happening. You kind of understand like what's expected now because you had a whole season behind it. You know, for the people who are here, you have, you know, we say don't look back too much on last year, you know, because last year is last year. But you have that foundation. You don't have to start from square one. You start a little higher. So now we already, you know, starting ahead a little bit, and we get to work on that going forward. So I feel like that's been a huge advantage for us. We already know what's going on, so now we just playing the game within the game. You know what I'm saying?
Justin.
Another question for both you guys. Adding the transfers, how have they complemented you guys and your skill set, and how do you think this group can come together and take the offense to another level?
The transfers are great. J-Ro, DJ, and Rodney are great people. So me and Rodney play the same position right now. We're both in the A's, and then J-Ro moves from X and Z, and then DJ is also X and Z. So I'm really more with Rodney, but me and Rodney, I would say we're the best duo in the country right now. Off rip, I think we both, we complement each other's game. We're both fast, but he gonna hate this. I think I'm a little faster than Rodney, so I think I play a little faster. But Rodney's definitely a smooth player. He's smooth. He knows he's smart, so he's definitely like a compliment to how we play. And then Jet too. Jet's also like a young, fast guy, could up there with us too with the ability to play.
I've heard, you know, Rodney is a little bit similar to like Luke Weissong in the sense that he's very fast, but can do a little bit of everything. Can you describe just his skill set?
Yeah, even off the field, I think Rodney and Luke are like the same person, bro. Goofy kid, just like to have fun and joke around and stuff. But yeah, I would say Luke and Rodney do play a little similar on the field. They're both like technical receivers. Like they know how to do it and they get it done the right way. You know what I'm saying? They don't really they have their own swag to it, but it's the right swag to keep it in the path of how it's supposed to be done, if that makes sense.
Any more questions? Go for it, Justin.
You said Giovanni, Italian background? Right?
Yeah, my mom's Italian.
Okay. Do you guys have any like Italian traditions or things?
Nah, not really. Well, yeah, not that I know of. Probably my mom.
Sure.
But yeah, no. But she grew up in Des Plaines, so it's in Illinois. So it's not really that much Italian people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we've heard quite a bit about your maturity and just kind of how you carry yourself. Where does that come from?
I would really just say my family. I've always, I'm the younger brother. I got 2 older brothers, so I've always I always say I just had to have a whole bunch of confidence and always carry myself to be better than what I know I can be. So even with my older brothers, the competition and stuff is just, I would always tell everybody I'm the best brother, I'm the best athletic brother. So my confidence was always through the roof. And then getting here was just okay, it's college football. I'm a grown man. I live by myself, all that. I just got to start acting like it. And then, I still joke around, still be a kid and all that. So I would say I just carry myself the same way I've always done it since I was young, just with a whole bunch of confidence.
How has Coach Wade helped you as a receiver? And personality-wise, are you guys very similar in a lot of ways?
Yeah, he says that. I don't know why. I think I think it's just because we're both light-skinned, to be honest. To be truly honest, I think we're just both light-skinned, so he says that. And we're both from the Phoenix area, so he says we have a lot in common. But no, he's definitely helped because we've had those talks where it's okay, so second year, the second year is always the biggest leap. So he said, you know what I'm saying, I just expected for that big step this year, and hopefully I'll take it.
And then a couple more. Chris, what's your assessment of Gio and how he's performed over the last year?
I think the biggest thing I'll say is the maturity and confidence level. Him kind of missing last spring because of his injury. I always said him and Mizell always had like that. They were kind of ones that kept me young. They always would say something, a snarky remark or something, just to push the competition. Like, oh, all right, I bet I could run this route better. I bet I could do this better. But when he started kind of coming in and playing in the fall, during fall camp, you could tell, you saw like burst of what he could do, but I feel like the confidence wasn't fully there yet. That was his like first breath of college football. And then you kind of saw it during the season last year as it went on more and more. That confidence just grew and grew. And obviously, once the confidence grew in himself, it grew in the coaches, it grew in the players. And that's why you saw him on the field way more and then making big-time plays after big-time plays. And I feel like probably him just seeing that himself and obviously us as a group seeing that, he's just carried that throughout the offseason. Now he's pushing himself in all the runs we do and all the conditioning we do. And then when we were doing just routes with the quarterback, Noah, he's pushing himself during that. And then coming into spring ball now, his maturity at his point, just being barely a second-year player, is pretty remarkable to see, and especially his growth from last year. So seeing that, I think that's one of the biggest compliments I could give him, and compliments as a player.
And last one for both of you guys. There's a lot of defensive backs that have been added to the group. What do you guys think about just those guys, and then who are one or two guys that you guys are often paired up with in one-on-one drills and everything?
For me, the two I would say that really showed, well, not showed, they all could ball, but all turned our head okay, he could really go. Malcolm Hartzog from Nebraska, he's like that. He's strong, fast, all everything you need to play his position he has. And then Matai, he played linebacker at USC, and then they converted him to a safety. He's also, that man, he's good. He could come down, he could hit, he could cover, and when he get a better understanding of the defense and all that, he's going to be a good player here.
Yeah, and corners-wise, guys on the outside, I think they all could ball. Guys like Boodle, I feel like he stepped up, into a big role, but just being a physical guy. You could tell, I think he's running a similar system to what, Coach G trying to do here. So he seems like he's more comfortable in the system right now. I feel like that's a guy I go against a lot. Tyrese, he's gotten better from just the first few practices here. I think he's getting a little more comfortable. But besides that, I think all the guys can ball. Even the young guys like Zaire, he's, just trying to get his foot in there. So I think, pretty much all the corners, you'll probably see most of all of them this year, at least starting off right now. So I think they've shown a good little something so far.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Fellas,
Thank you, guys.